How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI, which was down almost 8% on the day. We've been seeing a strong sell-off inside of the market. We had the FOMC meeting, so I want to make sure you guys are staying updated. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $5.47, being down 7.91%. On the low, it tested $5.44, and then on the high, testing $5.84. So when we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 31.705 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 37.135 million shares. So you could see that we did have below average volume on the day, and we also seen a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 35.41. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And it's clear to see that SOFI is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. So what we need to take a look at, the chart is looking bearish, especially when we take a look at the recent price action, but no surprises due to the conditions we had inside of the market. So if we decide to see a pullback in the stock, where could SOFI possibly go is the question. So we ended up testing that low at $5.44. So if we end up pulling back even more, I want to see support coming in at least at $5.06. But before we get there, we might have some support that might want to come in right here around $5.27. So these are some areas that you want to keep a very close eye on. And of course, the 52-week low is at $4.82. I'm not saying that SOFI is going to be getting there tomorrow. I want to make sure I'm being clear about that. But there is a strong possibility we could test that $5.20 range. Now, if you're looking for a turnaround, of course, you're going to want to see a move above the high of the day at $5.84. Most preferably, SOFI going back into the $6 range. It did make a test there the day before, so that's why I think it's very achievable. If the markets decide to turn up, we could see SOFI going back to $6. And of course, we need to see it get to the 21-day EMA at $6.48 to confirm, you know what, it looks like we might be going back on an uptrend. But for the most part, things are looking bearish at the moment, so let's see how it performs going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for SOFI. So the off exchange short volume ratio is at 46.41%, and then for the off exchange short volume, it is just over 11.03 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 5.7 million, updated 28 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 1.97%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 14th, it is at 46.85. And then for the close of the 15th, being at 46.41. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float, and we see it at 18.02%, SOFI does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see on the inflows at 25.70 million, and on the outflows at 44.09 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 15.67 million, and then on the small it was 10.03 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 8.22 million, on the medium it was 25.54 million, and then on the small it was 10.33 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, June the 16th, we had an outflow of 8.22 million. But on the 15th, we had an inflow of 7.6 1.69 million. But when we take a look at the past 5 trading days, 3 of them have been outflow days. Now, when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders, it tends to represent the retail side. You can see that we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, it represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 3.47%. And this is not too bad for a stock like SOFI. It does see a lot of volume on a daily basis, and that's why you see a lot of volatility in the play as well. And with the strong sell-off we've been seeing inside of the markets, that's why we could see the price action is the way it is, and why we're seeing from the order flow, we have the big institutions and the whales that are selling off. Now let's move on to the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SOFI, when it comes to the price action, so we have the 21-day EMA, which is at $6.48. And since the price action that we had today was below that level, that's why I say, you know what, this stock does look bearish at the moment. Do know we ended up testing support at $5.44, and we ended up seeing a high at $5.84. So if we have a continued sell-off in the market as far as for tomorrow, we also do have the quad witching. I want to see support kicking in at $5.27 or somewhere in the $5.20 range. $5.30 could show up as well. But if we break through those levels, then we want to see support coming in at $5.06. And we know the 52-week low is around $4.82. I'm not saying it's going to get to the 52-week low tomorrow. I want to make sure I'm being very clear about that. But we do want to see support continuing to hold up, especially above $5.44. You're looking for some strength in the play. Now, if you want to see a move to the upside, maybe we have a rally in the markets. Again, I am not betting on that whatsoever. Then you want to see it actually get back into the $6 range. And then upon doing that, the target would be right at that 21-day EMA. So we could see a change in the trend. But overall, if it can make a move back to $6, it's definitely a good look for the play going into next week. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential, and there's no surprises there. And I've been saying this over and over again. If you're looking about getting into a position, there's no reason to rush whatsoever. We had the FOMC meeting, and Jerome Powell came out and said, you know what, they're going to be going with the 75 basis points. We already knew this was on the table due to the fact of the CPI numbers coming out last week, and they were high. They were above estimates, and many people were expecting this. But at the same time, that's why you have to have a good idea when it comes to purchasing stock. Timing your entries becomes even more crucial. I know it's very hard to time the market, but at the same time, when you have uncertainty and so much fear, you want to make sure when you are making a purchase, you're doing it at a time where it's the most optimal for you. And considering how much this stock is pulled back and how close it is to its 52-week low, I feel that could be very interesting for investors wanting to take a look at it. But of course, do your homework, do your due diligence. This is very important because I do believe we do have earnings that is right around the corner coming in July. So I can see the market actually picking up some steam going into earnings. Again, that is my personal opinion there. Another thing I want to tell for all of my traders out there, I've been talking about these levels for quite some time. We knew about the gap that needed to be filled at 578. Take advantage of these levels. Use it to your advantage to make some money to the downside and as well as for the upside. But right now, from what I'm seeing, as long as we have weakness in these markets and the fear continues, SOFI will continue to sell off. But the moment that it's ready to turn around, keep eye on those levels that I spoke about. It's very straightforward. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.